What's the weirdest compliment you've ever been given? During an internal ultrasound I once got told I have beautiful fallopian tubes. I've been riding that high for years. During pelvic floor PT they have the ultrasound on, so you can see that you're doing the exercises correctly. When you do it correctly your cervix curls up a bit and looks like it's smiling. My PT said, "Look at that happy little cervix." Apostrophe. Now whenever I do my kegels, I picture my smiling little cervix. Open bracket close bracket. LMAO who killed me with that little face at the end. You look comfortable. Not as in I look relaxed. She meant I looked comfortable to rest. Lean all way on. At first I asked if she was politely saying I was fat. She explained that I had a look about me of being someone who was comfortable to cuddle with and not hog space or covers. I took it as a compliment. I hope it was. This was a stranger I was having a conversation with during the morning train commute maybe 3 years ago. Came from out of the blue. As well. Did you get a number? Nope. I'm kinda dumb like that. I was too busy analyzing the comment to act on anything. Someone told me my eyes were upside down. Not sure what that means, or if it was even a compliment. They seemed friendly. This one made me laugh. What does it mean? No one knows what it means but it's provocative. Random stranger while I was on a run. Nice neck. I'm not saying I believe in vampires, but I made sure my windows were all locked that night. If you don't invite a vampire in, they can't enter, right? The very same reason you shouldn't have a welcome mat. I work retail and was told this by a customer. "You're so nice. You must have been bullied in high school." Apostrophe. Fair though. She wasn't wrong. "You are so tan. How did you get so tan?" Apostrophe. "I'm Indian." Reminds me of when then Italian PM Silvio Berlusconi once complimented an African priest on his tan after visiting an earthquake-struck town. To be fair, Silvio was tripping balls most of the time. A teacher in high school told me several times that I had a perfectly shaped head. Freshman year phrenology class. Good times. "You have the most Baltic forehead slope I've ever seen. You'd look great in an off-shoulder dress." I'm a guy, but if I ever want to start wearing dresses, I know I'll choose off-shoulder ones. They meant to say you have ice clavicles. Way to give the guy the cold shoulder. An 18Y/O male at the time, was catcalled while walking up the street. The assailant screamed, "You have very good posture here. Lol." Edit. I had actually been involved in a pretty serious car wreck months prior and had been working on my posture with a physical therapist to address whiplash related pain. Gotta engage those abdominal muscles just under your belly. I think you made some physiotherapist very proud that day. You know, if that were the case, I'm happy for that guy's enthusiasm. Still makes me grin after all this time, hahaha. "You look ominous," the mailman said to me while I sat on the curb reading Time magazine waiting outside my apartment for the mail to arrive. A lot of people try very hard to look ominous and can't do it. I was a pale 6 foot tall, 130 pound white guy in a t-shirt and shorts. People need to try harder. "You look like you're good with your elbows," said by a 50-plus-year-old man biking by. He then swung back around telling me I should try out for the local roller derby team. This sounds like a dad directing women to his newly out daughter's roller derby team. My baby girl is gonna be drowning in pussy if I have anything to say about it. Apostrophe. "You remind me of a swan. Large, white and a psychopathic attitude. 50% chance it'll either attack you or try to duck you." From a teacher. "You're like a barbed wire fence. Maybe something gets past you, but it leaves tattered pieces behind. I'm not very attentive, but somehow I manage to pick up info I need and use it appropriately. Mine just straight up told me she thinks I'm ADHD, but this way is nicer." Mine basically did the same, except starting off the sentence with "I think there's something wrong with your child." In front of me, in year 3. Spoiler, there was nothing, as she puts it, wrong with me. A coworker once told me that I was a cross between Han Solo and Drive Bunsen Honeydew from the Muppets. This was in 1998, and I still can't stop thinking about it. Was that supposed to be a compliment? An insult? The worst part is that he was pretty accurate. Actually, not gonna lie, if someone told me I looked like a cross between Han Solo and Drive Honeydew, I'd be so proud. Not looked. He meant it to describe my personality, not my looks. Him depressingly cynical and insufferably pompous in equal measure. With the right makeup you'd make a really good looking girl. I'm a guy BTW. You could be a part-time model. Spending part of your time modeling and part of your time next to me. Your freckles are so sexy. They remind me of my sister. Freckles are sexy. His sister has freckles. Both of those are normal statements. Sexy freckles remind him of his sister. Now that's messed up. It was a crowd Australia Day celebration in the city. Shit was getting a bit out of control and everyone had way too much to drink. I tried to walk quietly by a bunch of fairly aggressive troublemakers without attracting attention. One of them shouts out, "Hey everyone, look at that guy. He looks awesome. I want my children to look like him." Fucking everyone stops and looks at me. Some people nod and go, "Yeah, well, they wouldn't be his children anymore. Women can be troublemakers too, you know." When I went to the doctor they were training a nurse. They were about to draw my blood and the older one poked at my veins. She said I had nice bouncy veins. So they're easy to see and draw blood from. Bouncy veins are awesome. If you're in the medical field you would know. I have very vascular forearms and I feel so tickled every time nurses look at my arm and go, "Ooh, nice veins." It's like I'm helping them have an easier part of their day without having to really do anything. I even had a couple of nurses playfully argue who would get to poke me when I was giving blood. I went to my 25th high school reunion and a woman I knew then didn't recognize me. When I told her my name she said, "Oh my gosh, you're so handsome now." Got him. That happened to me too. The most popular girl in my class, she took a good long look and said, "Pastor, is that you?" But not in a bitchy way. More in a dumb way. We ended up having a really cool convo. I didn't read your username right away, so my mind immediately was like, what gets you the nickname of Pastor? Long story short, I've fabricated 3 scenarios, but my favorite is a Italian mobster that kills people with various types of noodles in creative ways then leaves a signature pasta noodle. Edit. When I have more time, damned responsibilities, I'll write out the whole story I'd thought of with the mobster and the gist of the other 2 scenarios, if people are really interested. Edit 2. Holy guacamole. Batman. Thank you for the award and the upvotes and the comments. I'm reading through, and y'all have given me some fun ideas to include with the original premise. I'm going to try and give you a full-fledged story. I will post an update in about 2 to 3 days work/school allowing. Wow. You're stronger than my dad. My GF. The first time I picked her up. That's not weird, dude. My father used to pick me up every time in a fun way and now I miss it. So it may be like that. My world changed forever the day I realized that I could pick up my dad. That I've the most beautiful eyebrows. We're even asking if I pluck them or what routine I had. BTW. I'm a guy. But NGL. I felt fabulous days after. Guys have the best eyebrows and lashes. Do you pluck them? We do. But no. I never plucked my eyebrows. I'm petite, so there was one time somebody told me that I must be easy to maneuver. Not sure if that is a compliment. ? Run. I speed walked from the scene immediately afterwards. So hopefully that'll do. One evening about 12 years ago I was on a bus headed down to the financial district in Mick. I can't remember why we were on a bus instead of taking the subway, as I rarely took buses over the subway. Anyway, there wasn't many people in the bus and every passenger was able to sit in a seat. Directly across from where I was sitting was an elderly Asian woman. She sat there smiling at me for a couple minutes. I wasn't sure if she was smiling at me or just in my direction, so I just smiled back at her. When we reached her stop, she came up to me and said, "You are even more beautiful than Meryl Streep." I was so flattered but also tickled. Meryl Streep is a good 35 years older than me. I never thought of her as a beautiful woman, but that didn't matter because someone did. And they thought I was beautiful too. Considering they were an old lady, they may have thought of a younger Meryl Streep, lol. My friends and I were talking about what kind of potatoes we'd be. One of my best friends told me you'd be a loaded baked potato. People pay extra for that good shit. Apostrophe. I certify that as 100% smooth and there is no way in hell I could come up with that on the spot. You finally look like a human being. It happens every time I get a haircut, lol. Edit. Thanks for the awards. D also. It's nice to see that you finally look like a human as an universal saying, rather than just something I thought was from my country. I wonder what other sayings are like that. My girlfriend was about to tell the lady cutting my hair make him human, but ended up not saying that. Eventually the hair lady ended up saying something along the lines of "you seem so nice." I had one lady tell me to make her boyfriend human again. Like, what the heck, am I right? Apostrophe. Your penis is harder than old chicken. If a girl told me this, I'd really start doubting if that's a compliment or insult. I'd take it as a compliment. What if a guy told you, "You're so sexy. You reminded me of my mum." Apostrophe. Hamlet has joined the chat. To be incestuous or not to be incestuous? That is the question. You have great earlobes. Edit. If there are any single ladies who are into that, hit me up. Well, I mean, you do. Username checks out. Your eyes alone are worth 2,000 camels for your hand in marriage. Vacation to Egypt. That's an elite level of compliment. You looked gay today by one of my great nan's friends. She had meant happy, but it made me laugh so hard I choked on my drink. Thought she had excellent gaydar. Turns out she just thought I looked happy. Reminds me of when I was 13 and going on a river trip with family friends. The mother asked if I packed thongs. I was like, what now? She meant flip-flops. My mom calls flip-flops or sandals thongs too. I don't know what she thought the Cisco song was about. Every time I see her, my gynecologist always says you have such a cute little cervix. I've had a BF blushingly tell me I have a really cute butthole. Don't make it weird. Apostrophe. So I got that going for me. My gynecologist once told me, "Beautiful cervix." When I stared at her confused, she quickly clarified with "healthy." It wasn't really a weird compliment, just a really weird delivery. This girl came up to me and told me to look straight forward, stared into one of my eyes for like 2 minutes and said nice. Edit. Thanks for so many upvotes, but this is way more boring than you make it out to be. We met off a mutual friend in the city, not a club, uni or whatever X, and she is straight as far as I know. She was just judging your very soul. No worries. Edit. Thank you for the rocket. I shall cherish it for as long as my attention span allow. Edit 2. And thank you for the upvotes and jokes. HMM. Likes cheese. Few murder tendencies. Nice. And yes, liking cheese is carved deep in your soul. I had pink eye and the nurse was looking into the non-infected eye. You have beautiful retinas. Thank you. Question mark? You look like an anime character. Apostrophe. Wow. Thanks. That's a great compliment. Yeah. Like that show Hellsing. With all the vampires. Apostrophe. Well, the vampires were pretty too, including Dracula. It took me a couple decades to realize guys like you are the best. Thanks, Grant. A drunk woman at the bar was all over me. She was especially entranced by my elbows. She said I had really strong elbows and they were so sexy. She eventually asked if she could lick them. Well, weird, I allowed her. Pre-COVID people, don't worry. /edit. No, I'm not Technoblade. I do like Minecraft though. Nope, still worried. What? All she wanted to do was lick his weenus. My sister's friend told me I had the sense of humor of an old man on his deathbed who was upset because he couldn't find his ex-wife to tell her to FCK off one last time. Edit. I didn't realize he was referencing Ron Swanson. I've seen Parks and Rec, but it was years ago, so I forgot about it. This is officially my favorite and now I wish I knew you both. Your butt is really toned. Like buns of steel, bro. That was from my older cousin a few years ago when she randomly slapped my ass thinking I was her boyfriend walking out of the kitchen. Still kinda creeps me out. She did apologize after she realized her mistake, but her compliment right after made it way weirder. So, I've never done that to a relative, but I have been so shocked by someone that I just blurted out my thought. I was talking with an old friend at her job and she introduced me to her new coworker. This girl was drop dead gorgeous. Honestly, one of the most stunning people that I've ever seen. She was like a walking piece of art. So, my coworker introduces me and all I can say is wow. Oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. She gave me a weird look, said thanks, and excused herself shortly thereafter. I'm a totally straight woman, too. But sometimes something just shocks you enough your brain shuts down for a reboot and you're left on your own. I've been on the receiving end of a shocked compliment like that, and I still think of it fondly 10 years later. In my situation, I was driving my Pose car, trying to get into a parking garage, but my window wasn't working, so I opened my door to get the ticket from the attendant. He literally gasps and says, "OMG, you're gorgeous." I'm not even sure I said anything to reply and may have just driven off. I was so caught off guard by the reaction. No one had ever gasped at my beauty before, and no one has since, lol. I'd kill my grown children if I could go back in time and make a new set with you, old lady buying cigarettes. Semicolon. Edit. Holy crap everyone. Thanks for the awards. This dopamine hits different. Dude, WTF. She just understands how time travel really works. Someone told me that they liked talking to me because I made them use their whole brain. I dunno. It's weird, but it was nice to hear. What do you mean by that? Apostrophe. The stuff you say is so stupid I have to think really hard about what it means. Apostrophe. Oh, and the shape of your face just ducks with my spatial perception. Apostrophe. I've been told that I have exceptionally smooth balls. Like 2 hard-boiled eggs in a balloon full of downy fabric softener. Gee. Thanks document. But anyway you were checking for lumps right? Fellas. Is it gay to compliment a patient's balls? The pizza who pierced my ears back in August told me my ears were perfect and to call her if anyone said otherwise, and she would fight them for me. Wow, you're really grown up from my aunt. When I was 36 yo, I sent my mom a first day of school pic, as I'm teaching for the first time this year. She said I looked so grown up. I'm 38. In fairness, I think she might be making fun of the first day of school picture thing. That's the kind of joke my mom would make. You must have been invited to this conference because you're so pretty. At a particle physics conference organized by my alma mater which invited a few alumni, said to me by a physics Nobel laureate. Thanks dude. Stay classy. Edit. For those who are saying he didn't know what he was doing, he knew. We had just finished dinner and he came over to say it the second his wife left the table. I also then learned months later has banged from at least one university campus for his behavior. So far, this is the only one I've read that has made me angry. You look like a Mii. That's so cute. IDK. There's some nightmare fuel Mii's out there. Why are you so tall? Apostrophe. I'm an average height person. But why? The people need to know. Your leg looks sexy. You could have said, if you like that, wait until you see my pubes. My leg hair is my pubes. Sasquatches unite. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Went on a blind date with this guy, who's a friend of a friend. He spent the night mostly talking about how nice my top made my boobs look. Yeah, that was the first and last time I saw him. Can't say that I blame you. Who wants to date someone who's that into fashion? It's funny you said that, because I'm a fashion designer. My spidey senses told me that he just wanted me to keep abreast of his arousal. You must be Australian cause that bikini ain't hiding that bushfire. I have questions. I got told I have sexy legs by a married gay woman. I'm a bloke. A compliment is a compliment. You know the definition of the word wholesome? You are my new definition for that. Apostrophe. Something along those lines. Kinda of weird, but man did it feel good to get it. I couldn't stop smiling. Damn girl. You ain't just the meal. Joust the whole damn buffet. Apostrophe. Did they mean that you'd been roughly touched and fingered by a busload of Chinese tourists? Did I just wander into /r/roast? That him like a piece of furniture. Don't do much, but you notice when I'm not there. This is one of my favorites so far in this thread. Like, just your presence is enough for the other person to feel content and comfortable. That's a really good compliment, in my personal opinion. Context: I'm a pretty skinny guy. No, you're very broad. Girls like that, they're gonna look at you and say now that is a jungle gym and I just want to climb all over. My 4-year-old son told me I smelled like music. When I asked what kind of music, he said music you dance to. Still the best compliment I have received to date. I heard you give really good blowjobs. He was serious. I'm a straight male who never gave a BJ in my life. Perhaps it was a test. You know, instead of saying, are you a homosexual or bisexual? He just casually said, I heard you give crazy sick BJs. Is that true, bro? If not, it's cool, but if so, hook me up. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.